The reveals for Premium Collection 2022 has begun, so let's begin. And we're gonna do this in reveal order. No card of the days other than the Premium Collection stuff. So let's start off with Shadow Paladin with Dark Knight Chrome Crunch. Generic stride stats, I'm not gonna go over that over and over. And its skill is, act Vanguard once per turn, cost retire 2 of your rearguards. Your opponent chooses 3 of their rearguards and retire them. But if they cannot retire 3 into the turn, this card gets this ability. Auto Vanguard once per turn, at the end battle of this card attack, cost counterblast 1, retire 2 of your rearguards. Stand this unit, and also plus 10k for the rest of the turn. That's a separate part of the ability, by the way. The only thing I don't like about this card is that it's another Shadow Paladin card where it lets your opponent chooses what they will be retiring. But retiring 3 is still pretty good. And if they fail to retire 3, then this card gets a restand ability. So this is just overall pretty decent. Although it's probably just going to be a 1 or 2 off. And into the Shadow Paladin G-Guard. Yay, G-Guards. Dark Knight Deep Graver Dragon. Generic G-Guard stats, and the skill is auto, when placed on Guardian, choose up to 5 grade 1 cards from your drop zone and put them to the bottom deck in any order. And then this card gets plus 5k shield for every card you put, and if you put 5, you can counterblast 1, choose one of your units, and they cannot be hit until the end of that battle. This is really good because it helps Shadow Paladins do some recycling on their grade 1s, which is the most important grade for Shadow Paladin, especially Luard. Managing 5 will give you a free 40k shield, which is very powerful of course, but if you can also pay the cost, and if you need to, you can also just pay for a PG. I say that PG part is not completely necessary, but it is a really nice added addition, so obviously you run this. And now to Narukami, Conquering Supreme Dragon and Exterminate Dragon. The skill is, auto, when placed on Vanguard, cost Soul Blast 1, draw a card for each of your opponent's open front row rearguards. And then the second skill is pretty similar, where it's act Vanguard once per turn, cost counterblast 1, all your front row units gets plus 10k power for each of your opponent's front row open rearguards. It may sound shitty at first, but you have to remember, this is premium we're talking about. There are a good amount of decks that will clear up their board before you even get the chance to wipe them. And there are quite a bit of Narukami cards that require you to bind your opponent's stuff just to be able to do something. So in a way, this card is just meant to be used to punish your opponent for not letting you do anything. And having more options is always really nice, so run this at 1 or 2 of. And then for the Narukami G-Guard, Sky Guardian, Supreme Dragon, Counteract Dragon. The skill is, auto, when placed on Guardian, your opponent chooses up to 2 of their front row rearguards and bind them. But if 2 were not bound, this card gets shield plus 10k, and if no cards were bound, shield plus 10k. Sure, it lets your opponent choose, but if their opponent does not choose, this card gets more powerful. And in many ways, a 35k shield can block a lot of attacks. But I would have to say this is a 1-up because it isn't the most consistent G-Guard, but it's overall still pretty decent. And now to Great Nature, Omni-Scientist Dragon, Caliduris. Does that look like a dragon to you? Because it looks like a bird. But anyway, the skill is, act Vanguard, once per turn, cost, turn a face down card from your G-Zone face up, all front row rearguards get plus 10k till the end of the turn, and then until the end of the turn, retire them. That basically just helps with success, and it gets stronger over time. But anyway, second skill, Auto Vanguard. When this card attacks, cost counterblast 1, choose one of your rearguards with 30k or more power, and stand it, and then it gets this ability. Auto Rearguard. When this card attacks into the end of that battle, when your opponent would call cards from their hand, they must call 3 or more at the same time until the end of that turn. So it lets a big rearguard stand once again with a Battle Door effect, and not only that, it gives multiple units a chance for success. I have to say this is pretty decent. Next for the G-Guard, Omni-Scientist Dragon, Saket Evil. The skill is, auto, when placed on Guardian, cost counterblast 1, mill the top card of your deck, and then perform one of these following abilities. If it was a normal unit, this card gets shield plus 20k. If it was a trigger unit, choose one of your units and it cannot be hit until the end of that battle. The thing I don't like is that it is lottery, but with Isabel it's not going to matter. But if you're not Isabel, then it's going to be luck based. Luckily, both abilities are pretty decent, although depending on situation, one might be shittier than the other. And now to Dark Irregulars, Deep Hades Emperor of Ultimateness, 4 Volks. Its skill is, Auto G-Zone. At the end of battle that your grade 3 Vanguard attacked at least a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, and of course if your grade 3 Vanguard has 13 or more soul, cost counterblast 1, discard 5 cards from your hand, strike this card on your Vanguard as stand from face down. Well, another strong card for NOK, because NOK itself would already give you double twin drive with a freestanding Vanguard. Let's add superior striding to it. And even if it's not NLK, there is a lot of grade 3 powerhouses for Dark Irregulars. And now with this, you now got multi-attack on your Vanguard for any Dark Irregular deck. Yes, it's costly, but still very powerful. Just do keep in mind with your deck size though, because you are going to be drive checking a lot. Although at least the second skill kind of solves a little bit of the deck out problem, because the skill is auto when placed on Vanguard. If your deck has 13 or less cards, choose up to 3 critical triggers from your soul and shuffle them to the deck. Yup, slowing down your deck out, and on top of that you get triggers back. Definitely must run. To the G guard, Mayhem Force Wind Princess Nergervis. The skill is auto when placed on Guardian, cost counterblast 1. Choose one of your opponent's units for every 10 cards in soul, and they get crit -1 to the end of turn. And no, you can't choose the same unit if you can do this multiple times. Minusing your opponent's crit is already really powerful, so I do say do run this because that is basically a PG in many cases, especially on those very big attacks. And then to Dimensional Police, Cosmo Winger Unberg Galaxy. The skill is Count Vanguard. This card gets plus 10k power for each card in your damage zone and rear guards. So it gets stronger as the game goes on, and if you have a full board along with 5 cards at the damage zone, that is 100k extra power. And in the second skill, Burst, I don't know why they added the keyword again, Auto Vanguard. Once per turn, turn a card from your G zone face up, and then if this card has 50k power, until the end of that battle, this card gets 1 crit. But if it has 100k power or more, try +2. Pray your opponent doesn't have a PG or any ways to nullify the attack. If they don't, then they're practically screwed. This is just an overall nice option, mainly for the late game, and it causes no counterblast. And then to the G guard, Giant Armor Beast Irregulars, which has the skill of auto when placed on Guardian, cost Soul Blast 1, choose up to 2 grade 3 normal units from your drop zone and put them to your hand, and then plus 5k shield for each card you put back. Remember, heal guardians are grade 3s, so that's why it has that wording of grade 3 normal units. But anyway, this is pretty decent because it just helps you cycle. And not only that, many Dimensional Police decks run a lot of grade 3s. And then to the final stride for the week, onto OTT, Happiness Spinning Nada Dragon King. The skill is Act Vanguard once per turn, cost turn a card from your G zone face up, reveal the top cards of your deck equal to the number of face-up cards in the G zone +2, call all the normal units and put all the trigger units to your hand, and then activate all the trigger units' abilities. Yup, V Susano all over again. Gets stronger over time, and it's basically just free pluses. There's no counterblast in this either. But like usual with these drive check type decks, just beware of the deck out. And finally, one who builds the 8/4 Fierce Octagonal Magus. The skill is auto when put on Guardian, choose 2 grades from 0 to 3 and declare them. And in the reveal the top card of your deck, if the revealed cards were any of those declared grades, put the card in your hand, and then shield plus 15k until the end of that battle. I get that OTT has the ability to see what's the top card of your deck, but usually not at your opponent's turn, so I really don't like this guessing game, and then you get the good luck, you get some extra bonuses. I'd rather have it where if you guess right, you have it to your hand. If you guess wrong, you get extra shield value. If it doesn't cost a counterblast, that would have been much better. So that's it for these premium collection cards. What do you guys think of them? How do you like the new G guards now that they decided to bring them back? Honestly though, most of these are just basically generic staples, and they're just more decent options for each deck. It's nothing super special, they're just mainly going to be played as 1 or 2 ofs depending on scenarios. But it is nice to see G guards again, especially most of them seem to be very updated with current number values. But on that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.